Hey guys, welcome back. Between the recordings of these videos, I've actually changed the plan slightly regarding the saving of the maps. I'm actually going to now store all the information inside of a database due to security reasons, and with my original plan, I was going to use custom attributes to determine solid walls and other bits like that. So I've decided to, tighten up the security and put all the information inside of a database rather than inside an XML document. So the saving of the file is pretty much the same sort of format as we in receiving the information. We first get the data from the submitted information through JSON, as we did with the XML file. As you can see here, I've still got the XML code here. After we've decoded the data that's sent through, I'm establishing a new MySQL connection, and after I've established that connection, I'm creating two new arrays. I've got C and S. The C is the classes array, and S is the solid state array. So, like we did in the XML, we're just running a for each loop. We're running off the data and returning it as V. So on the first loop, the first index of C is obviously the first class within that data loop there, and then we've got the solid state followed by that. So we're collecting together the all of this classes and the solid states for each tile, and then what we're doing after that is we're then imploding them, and we're delimiting them by with a comma before we're inserting these strings, which are now a string of all the data that was in the array, into the database. So we're just inserting into a map table which I've created, and we're setting the tile class as C1, which is the imploded array of C, and the class the class's state, or there should be tiles state, as S1, which is the imploded array of solid state. Then we come over to our database here. You can see that all I've got is I've two fields in my database. In my table, we've got a tile class, which is a text, and a class state, which is a text. So if we come over here, what I'll do is I'll build a little map, and then I'll save it, and then we'll have a look at what's actually constructed inside the database. Okay, so here's my map. I've made all the solid tiles. Now we go save. It comes up with a pop-up box saying done. So now when I come back over to the database, hold on a second, might help if I actually change the name of the table. Okay, so now when we go save, we should be able to come over here, and it's really not playing ball at the moment. Okay, right. So here we have our inputted data, and we come to edit it. You can see here that we have a long string of all of the classes that's used to construct the various tiles, and here we've got what each of the states for those tiles are. So 1 is that it's solid, and 0 is that it's not solid. So if you went through these, you could easily work out which tile was solid and which one wasn't. So that's our constructed map inside of a database. What we'll now do is we'll go look at bringing that map out into the actual game, ready to be, so we can work on walking around and detecting whether we can move into a wall or not. Okay, so to start moving along, we're first going to need to take a couple of elements from the map maker. We're going to need our tile sheet, and we're also going to need our style sheet. So if we take them out of there for a minute, and we'll just paste them in on the main file on the root directory, and we'll just we'll rename the CSS as tiles.css, and we'll put that into our style folder, and we'll take the style sheet, the tile sheet even, and we'll place it into our images folder. So if we come back over to Dreamweaver, we can get rid of the bottom set of styles. That's the solid tile and the drag selection styling, and then we need to alter the URL so that it's pointing to the right directory for to get the tile sheet. So we need to come out of this directory, and we're going into the images directory to grab the tilesheet.png. Right, so that's saved. We can close that, and we'll come back over to our play.php page. So if we come back over to the main game, and we'll just log in. And we'll just load up our character. Right, so here we have our play page, and currently all that's displayed on here is our stats. So just for now, underneath it, what we're going to do is we're going to echo out a div. Well, we're going to put a div in, and we're just going to give it a bit of styling. It's going to have a width of 500 pixels and a height of 500 pixels. So inside of here, we're going to execute some PHP, and we're going to run a query. This query is just selecting all from the maps table, and we'll just limit it to 1, and we're going to store this information in the SQL variable. Excuse me. So once we've executed the variable, we're going to store the objects inside of the row variable. And then what we're going to do after this is we're going to break up the class field, which is this one here, into the individual classes. So we'll declare a new variable and we'll have class equals explode, and we're delimiting it by a comma, and we want to explode the row, it's the tile class field. Then we're going to run a for each loop, and we're going to run it on this class variable, and we're just going to store it down as v, so we're getting the value of each of the classes, the class elements, and then we're just going to echo out a new div, similar to what we done on our index page of our map maker. We come right down here, right like this. So there's our echo. We're echoing out a div with the class of v, which should return the class name, which is stored in the classes array. We're also giving it a bit of styling. We're giving it the width and height of 50 pixels, which each tile is consisted of, and we're also floating it left again to give that tile appearance, to echo out the full map. So we saved that, we come back over to our game. Fingers crossed on refresh we should have echoed out the map as I constructed it earlier on. Well, we're echoing out something, as you can see here as I go through the elements. we are echoing out the map as it should be, but the thing we're not doing is including our tile.css, which again isn't working. Right, hold on. Tiles. Okay, it should be tiles, not tile. So, right, and there we go. There's our constructed map. That's the map we made in our earlier on via the tool maker, the map maker even. So the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to place in a sprite, and we're going to work on moving this sprite. Okay, so I'm going to cut the video here because I've got about 30 seconds left of time. So we'll come back in the next video and work on this more.